Hello, this is Andoya97 for another Destiny video. Today we're going to continue on our breakdown with each subclass on Destiny. Today we're going to start off with the Titan with the Striker. If you want to see all of the breakdowns I've done so far, you could go to my YouTube channel and find all of my videos I've done. Okay, let's go and see what we have. Today, like I said, we're going to look at the Striker. And the Striker is basically made for close quarters and, you know, just being awesome and stuff like that. It's basically being as close as possible, doing as much damage as possible, kind of like the Hulk. You know, this is like your Hulk class right here. Okay? Starting from the grenades, we have the Flashbang Grenade, an explosive grenade that disorients the enemies it damage. This is a pretty good grenade for PvE, probably the best grenade for PvE. And it's just very good to disorient your enemies so you could take them out with your close quarters abilities with this subclass. I always use it in PvE if I ever use a Striker, but honestly I kind of use Striker more in PvP than PvE. Then we have Pulse Grenade, a grenade that periodically damages enemies inside its explosive radius. I need to learn more bigger words. Anyway, Pulse Grenade is good if you want to have ticking damage going on. This does about 40 to 50 type of damage for each tick, and this is good. This is alright for certain situations, but honestly I prefer Flashbang and the other grenade I'm going to show. Lightning Grenade, a grenade that sticks to any surface periodically, emitting bolts of lightning. This is a lot better than Pulse Grenade, because it basically shoots out, you know, if you throw it on a wall, it sticks and it shoots out from the side of the wall, or it could shoot out from the floor and it does a lot of damage. I basically recommend with the grenades is, if you're doing PvP, Lightning Grenade; if you're doing PvE, Flashbang Grenade. For the jump, you have Lift. Jump and then press X again on the air to activate Lift. So you basically stay stationary up in the air for a little while. Then once you stop, for a certain timer starts to finish, you will fall down and then you will go back to the ground. This is actually probably the best way to go around in Destiny involving jumping, and I'll show you a little bit why. Okay, so if you want to have, you know, a good jump, and if you just want to go around places in like PvE and stuff like that, increased height is what you want. Upgrades Lift to travel to greater heights. So you can go to greater heights to go to secret places. You can go to greater height, use increased height to go to all sorts of different types of, you know, locations that you normally wouldn't do if you just had the regular Lift. I always use this all the time in PvE, and I'm going to show you what I always use in PvP. Increased control. Upgrades Lift for better directional control in the air. So instead of you know, having Lift focus on horizontal, it's focusing on better control on side to side. So you go to farther distances if you're using the increased control. This is actually the best Lift ability to use with this certain technique called Titan Skating. What you do is you press the jump button 3 times going sideways, you know, just going from side to side, and then you jump down to the ground. You press the X button 3 times again, so you could go to really fast distances. What some people like to do is they like to go and edit their button layout, and they press this type of setup called Jumper. In the Halo days, it's called Bumper Jumper. And what you do, and once you press this, you have the L2 button for jump instead of, like, you know, your grenade as L2. And then you have like your grenade and your shooting in different places, and then you'll use like your super ability for your X button, and then you have your melee for R3, which is most you know, which is most of your first-person shooter games. So, but personally I prefer it like this because I always played it like this, but it really depends on what you use. So then The last one is Catapult. Upgrades Lift to provide a strong intentional burst of momentum. So while you're like running and using this, this will make you have a strong burst of using this. I honestly never use this because I prefer increased height for PvE and increased control for PvP. Okay, then we have Fist of Havoc. Strength, smash the ground and dissolve nearby enemies in a maelstrom of arc light. This is basically a Hulk smash, only Thor is involved with this ability. You just have a certain radius of when you use this smash, and you just destroy everything in your path with this super. Because of this super and some other things, the Striker makes it the best, probably the best subclass for PvP right now. So there's 3 abilities added to this. And first you have Aftermath. Fist of Havoc leaves a damaging field in its wake. This just means that once you use Fist of Havoc, there's going to be a tick type of ability, which it'll keep doing these bursts of lightning in the same area you use Fist of Havoc. This is really good for having, crowd control when someone tries to capture a command post or something like that. And just for getting more kills using this is probably the best post-mortem device you could use. Then we have Death from Above. After jumping, Fist of Havoc can be aimed at enemies below. This is what I like to use for PvP, because you not only that you could use Fist of Havoc just for destroying everything in your path, you could also use it while you're up in the sky and just smashing below like Superman. It is pretty fun to watch, and it's pretty effective if you know how to use it. Then you have Shockwave. Fist of Havoc unleashes a devastating wave of energy which travels along the ground. Not only that you have Fist of Havoc going into the radius around you, but it also makes this wave in front of you, which kind of makes it into a ranged attack, which is very, very awesome for both PvE and PvP. A lot of people like to use this instead of Death from Above, and I understand why, because this is just a really good perk for it. Yeah. Then we have the melee, Stormfist, a punishing melee attack that deals bonus damage. Okay, so when you use like your regular melee, Stormfist makes it have a bonus damage towards that melee if you have your Stormfist charged up, which is very good for all types of situations in both PvE and PvP. First, you have Overload. Reduces Stormfist cooldown. Hits with Stormfist have a chance to immediately reset its cooldown. This is really good just for PvE, honestly, because you could kill most adds with one, punch, and then you can automatically get it reset it in its cooldown, and you could heal yourself with one of the other abilities we're about to get to. This is also good for PvP if you're using a shotgun and then melee, and you get a chance to use to get your melee back, which is really good because you can also, like I said, you can also get your health generator. You can get your health back when you use this ability. So then we have the second one we have is Discharge. Hits with Stormfist deal an area of effect damage around the target. I really don't like this perk because, you know, it's good for PvE when you're surrounded with like a whole bunch of thralls or something, but other than that, it's not very good because you have other abilities that are more handy. Amplify. Kills with Stormfist significantly reduce the cooldown of Fist of Havoc. This is probably the best option for both PvE and PvP, especially in PvP, because, you know, even though you know you can't reset its cooldown, you still have bonus damage, which you're most likely going to kill somebody if you damage them already. So this is good for getting your super back if you want to, you know, deal as much damage as possible to your opponent with Fist of Havoc. And then you have the skill trees depending on what you want your stats to be. You know, armor, recovery, or agility. Most of the time you want your armor to be the best next to your recovery and your agility, like I always recommend, but it honestly is up to you what you actually want. Everyone's different. Okay, for this tree right here, you have Headstrong. Sprint faster and increases leap of distance of Fist of Havoc. This is probably the least favorite of the tree right here, because The other two is just very, very good. Aftershocks increases the duration of pulse grenade, lightning grenade, and aftermath. This is excellent because not only that you have, the ticks going on to do continual damage on somebody, you also get an increased duration of lightning grenade, which is an awesome grenade, and aftermath, which is an excellent addition to Fist of Havoc. Then you have transfusion, my absolute favorite. Kills with Storm Fist or Shoulder Charge immediately trigger health regeneration. This is excellent for Overload and Amplify. You probably want to use Overload more with Transfusion because you can heal yourself more often. In this tree, you have Unstoppable. You are harder to kill while using Fist of Havoc. A lot of people like to use this because you get a bonus to your armor, and you can get max armor, and you could use this to survive all sorts of things. Like, I think you could survive a golden gun with this. I am not sure about that. Actually, no, you cannot survive a golden gun with this because recently Bungie buffed up golden gun's damage. But you still can survive all sorts of things. Like, you can survive a couple more bullets from an auto rifle, or you could survive, you can just have more health while you have a body shot to a sniper. This is just very good for survivability if you're focused on that. Then you have Shoulder Charge, probably my next favorite of this class. After sprinting a short time, press R2 to unleash a devastating melee attack. This is a one-hit kill, and one-hit kills are fun to use, especially if you just literally shoulder charge the guy that's in front of you, and then they just die in one instant. This is so much fun to use with a shotgun, transfusion, and shoulder charge. I highly recommend that you try it out at least once. It's so much fun. Then the last thing is Juggernaut. After sprinting for a short time, gain a protective shield. This is probably the best for surviving all sorts of situations when you're sprinting with a shotgun. Like, you could survive a golden gun shot, you could survive a sniper shot, you could survive, I think, one slice of a blade dancer, which is extremely handy if you know how to use this. So a lot of people like to use this. There's this guy named True Vanguard that likes to use this every time he uses a striker. So, he's like an excellent PvP player. So I guess you could follow his footsteps. Okay, so recommendations for exotics. For PvE, Ruin Wings is probably the best way to go because you get more heavy ammo drops, which is always good. You also have the Imperium Bellicose, which is good for just staying on the ground, and you could do some pretty fun builds, especially if you're trying to aim at your Fist of Havoc with Death from Above. This is pretty fun to use, not only from that, but for other uses as well. There's also the Armamentarium, which is always a fantastic choice for both PvE or PvP, because you always get additional grenade. If you want 2 lightning grenades, that's the way to go. The Twilight Garrison is an excellent choice as well, because you can just move around not only with Titan Skating and Shoulder Charge and Fist of Havoc from Death and Above, but you also have Twilight Garrison, which you can evade while in the air. It's extremely fun to use. A lot of people don't like to use this because it's kind of hard to use, but I use it a lot and it's so much fun. And you have Peregrine Greaves. This gives you bonus damage to your shoulder charge. This is probably more of a PvE type of boots than anything, but you could do so much damage. And I think you could one hit an ogre or a wizard, and it's extremely fun to use. For weapons, there's not much of a recommendation because there's, this class is just good with all types of weapons, both snipers, shotguns, any type of primary, any type of heavy, which is very good, and it's extremely versatile subclass, and it is extremely fun to use, and it's probably the best subclass in the PvP meta right now. Okay guys, that is it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys, and God bless.